Hey there, everyone, and welcome back to the Elder Scrolls of Guild and Coin, Part 2 of Session 9. So, we left off with Amory having a bit of an episode. All the exploding robots, the realization that there are 3 organizations at least looking for the Numidium in this place, and the necessity to heal up before they delve any further. So, so I believe, at least in regards to Amrit and Nysra, that Amrit was offering.
Yeah. Emery been offering like the whole time.
So she's like, "Are you sure? I mean, if I cut myself, then you will have sustenance, or I can just heal you."
My methods are far more efficient.
If I'm healing everyone else, it's perfectly efficient for me to heal you at the same time.
Question, Josh.
Answer.
Does normal healing actually work on her?
Excellent question. Healing spells don't really seem to have any negative effect in most Elder Scrolls games on vampires, so yeah, it would work just fine.
Okay, because I know that there are spells to heal undead specifically.
Just as long as said healing spells aren't radiant.
Yeah.
Because even with your particular strain of vampirism, that would still do some damage to you. So.
Yep.
How many people are hurt?
Zodd just waves his bloody hand.
I don't need much.
Okay, I'm injured. Zodd is injured. You've been damaged a little.
I've been damaged a little.
Julian's been damaged, and you've been damaged.
Yeah.
Okay.
If we take a short rest, she also is doing song rest.
Zodd's also kind of, wiggling his bloody hand at the vampire who's kind of hinting that she's hungry. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle.
Okay, so Amrit is anxious to find out about the Numidium and to step away from the area that he flashback. So, I'm just gonna cast. That's a casting time of 10 minutes. Wait,
that's a short rest.
Well, it's shorter than a short rest. It's a short.
It's a short. Because a short rest is half an hour.
Mm-hmm.
Short rest is an hour.
I thought short rest was 2 hours.
Nope, short rest is 1 hour.
Okay. So I will cast Prayer of Healing.
Who are you praying to for healing?
Oh, good lord.
That's just a spell name.
What horrible god do you pray to?
I don't know all the gods very well.
Likely not. Oh, why am I spacing on his name?
Wait, which one's Debelia?
The what?
Debelia? Which one's that one?
Debella?
Yeah, is that it?
Might be.
I don't remember anymore.
I know that Kinnereth is another good one, but that's the Nordic name for her.
Give me a second, I'll find the gods for you.
Do you speak Daedric?
I do not speak Daedric. I speak lots of other languages.
Tabella
straight to the top and...
Tabella is the goddess of beauty and love. She's one of the 9 divines.
Beauty and love? Oh, no. Oh, no, no.
No. That's
you might pray to Arche, who's the god of life, death, and mortals, as well as burials and funeral rites.
Sure, okay.
Yeah.
I have.
Kinnereth, as I'd mentioned, is another good one. She's often associated with healing.
Okay. I think it's a picture.
You,
Oh, wait, no.
you could also do Standra.
Stendar? Stendar?
God of mercy, justice, charity, love, and righteous rule by might and merciful forbearance.
Mm-hmm.
Technically, healing does fall under domains of mercy.
Yep.
I think I'll just do the one that I said I'd do. I forgot the name already.
RK?
Yes, RK. Thank you.
Mhm.
Okay, so up to
You have a lot of
the whole
pantheons
party.
in front of them.
Gets 2d8 plus my spell casting ability modifier. Yay! How hurt is everyone, by the way? Do I need to cast this at a higher level?
I'm not very hurt. I just hurt myself.
Out of 80, I'm a 53.
Yeah.
I look like I'm a 53.
Okay, so you have 27 damage, What about you, Jelinek?
I am just back at my regular hit points, really. Like, I'm not very damaged.
Oh.
Yeah. Not anymore.
Saved by a blade of armor.
Saved by a blade of armor.
Okay, so I'm just gonna do the 2d8. I'm fine. Rolls better. 7 plus intelligence. 13.
Everybody?
Everybody gets 13.
Yay!
I'm at 66 health. I'm happy with this number.
You'll be okay.
No, I'm happy
Even
with that
Joanna?
number.
Wait, did Joanna get like an extra 13 or he
No.
No.
at this point? No.
Healing, not temporary hit points.
This is also a good opportunity while you guys are kind of chilling for a few minutes to talk amongst yourselves, or well, for your characters to talk amongst themselves.
I want to just hand over the soul gem that I'm going to sacrifice the hand for to the why is clearly more of a mage than he is.
They
I'll take.
Nestra and like Amory like gave me back my scepter, right?
Oh yeah. While we're doing nothing, can I take a rubbing of the writing on it?
Yeah.
Sweet. Or I can have you do that while I'm of healing, and then we can time manage.
Question is Pierre still around?
Yeah.
He's staying on. Yeah, I put him down while we were fighting, so he didn't get hurt, and now he's.
Somehow, Pierre has managed to like when he scuttles up to you, you find he's got a sharpened piece of metal in one claw.
Whoa! He's not even nice crab.
Little crab, have you been stabbing things?
It chitters a bit, and in your mind you get kind of this vision of this absolutely massive skeletal monster. Like you're viewing it from the perspective of Pierre, as he's using his claw to take a smaller piece of bone and whack at it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's almost like a confirmation. Like Pierre does view himself as a warrior, albeit a fancy one.
Zodd's gonna pick up Pierre and like, you are a good crab.
Good crab, best crab.
There's a giant undead down here. Well, for Pierre, there's a giant undead.
So anything else you guys would like to do for healing up and stuff like that?
I'm sorry.
It's all good.
I wondered if, when we have time, if I would be able to sit down with you. I am collecting the histories of our party members, and I thought maybe perhaps be the next.
Yeah, I can do that.
Okay.
I don't have much to my own story about me.
That's
Like
fine.
this is the most entertaining thing that I think has happened in my life.
That is fine. I just need to know where you came from and your story of what happened to you, all that.
Do you want that now or later, or what do we?
Well, we are venturing further now that everyone is healed.
So let's go do that, and I'll tell you after.
Yes.
Good till while doing. Give you something to talk about while we walk.
Yes, but in case there are monsters or voice activated
True.
automatons, we might want to be quiet.
Fair. Okay.
Be sneaky.
Nysra looks disappointed that she did not get to taste of the elf blood.
Ooh, later.
Reader wonk.
It's like a really awkward form of flirting.
She doesn't say anything, but she just has that look of disappointment. When he's like, I can heal. Look it. I do this prayer thing and the healing happens. And she's just like, I liked my method.
All right.
Okay, so we move on. Continue through the ruins.
Yes. Venture forth.
All right.
We're off to see the wizard.
So you guys travel through more of these ruins, and it looks like each kind of level area eventually has a stopping point, which transitions into a stairwell, which kind of switches back to go further into the chasm. What would you guys like to do as you walk?
Amrit is like really quiet. And just kind of keeping to himself.
Hmm.
He's not even writing anything, which is like the most concerning.
Aw. Joinek kind of like stick close to you and like, want to make sure you're okay.
He seems okay. He's like stopped shaking, but he's like not in the right headspace.
Aw. Do you need a hug?
No.
You want a hug from Orc Dad?
No, that's okay.
Aw.
He already has a furry hat.
Please
Yes.
don't fall. Please don't fall. Please don't fall. Please don't fall.
Don't fall.
Who's fault?
I'm back.
Don't-
No, if it falls, that's my food for the night, and I would be very sad.
Oh no.
And then I would probably leave because I would probably start cussing a lot more than I probably should.
That's fair.
I got mac and cheese and a burger.
Nice.
Oh.
It's a good burger too. It's the burger from Applebee's. So I got a bacon burger and then mac and cheese with chicken in it. I'm
Okay,
a fat kid,
so-
don't judge me.
So Amrit is quiet, and we're walking. Anyone else do anything else?
I am also quiet, and I am touching your hair.
Zodd is telepathically asking Pierre just where the hell he ran into the skeleton at.
So he kind of it's mostly through like images and stuff like that. Through his weird like his weird perspective. It takes your brain just a little bit each time to kind of adjust to the perspective of a crab. But from what it seems like in some of these images, you actually see some of the members of the party that you're with, and some rather fond memories of this dark elf woman who had initially found him and given him his accoutrements, and you also see Zoe in the memories. You see you see Tash and Amrit. You also see here and there this younger girl, which Pierre kind of gives the sense of admiration for, almost as if she was the one who inspired Pierre to become a warrior in the first place.
Aw.
Uh,
Zira.
Too soon.
You're gonna teach that crab to knife fight. How do you think he learned how to hold a blade? The way of vengeance is strong in this crab.
Oh my god.
Best crab ever.
Best crab ever, indeed.
So yeah. Tash, anything you're up to as you guys walk?
Tasha's probably just walking and fidgeting with the ring. Not taking it off, but just sort of messing with it.
Okay. What are his thoughts regarding the ring?
That he probably shouldn't have put it on in the first place. But he's too afraid to take it off.
Your stomach growling a little bit?
Hey, who's hungry?
Tash. Tash is the one who's hungry.
I don't know. Nysra's getting pretty hungry too.
Zodd is going to hold out a chunk of that almost jet black jerky to Tashtar.
Tosh will take it and try it.
It's not as good as the
Flesh.
as fresh humanoid flesh.
Yeah, but it's
Well, the
still
last
humanoid
humanoids we
flesh.
saw were cooked beyond consumption.
Yeah, but just by the way, it still is humanoid flesh though. Zodd isn't uncultured. He jerkies all of his cannibalistic needs.
Well, that's why you and Tashtar would get along.
And that's why he's been feeding Pierre as well.
Oh my god. How dare you give our baby crab human...
It's
It's not cannibalism for the crab.
It is not cannibalism for the crab.
But now you got, like, hunger for us.
And who said it was human?
Did you just say it was human?
Humanoid.
I said it's sentient flesh. It's humanoid, yes, but I never said it was a human that was been jerkied. They don't have enough meat.
No humans in this party.
It's
Yeah,
orc.
Neither.
It's orc.
How dare you?
Well,
But,
with how big and chunky they can get.
But
Excuse
anyway,
you.
so you guys continue to travel further down, and ahead, you're able to start hearing voices.
You cut out.
Yeah,
So,
you cut out.
Further, you guys continue further down into the chasm, and eventually it gets to the point where you're beginning to hear voices echoing throughout the ruins.
Goody.
Some of them sound vaguely like their orders being called out. You guys can also hear the sound of picks and chisels at work on stone. And you're not entirely certain, but you think you might also hear a little bit of chanting, though you're not quite able to make it out.
Great.
And all that's coming from a chamber toward the bottom of the chasm. That is, it seems like it might be through a hallway that's been carved into the bottom of the chasm, so it's not part of the chasm proper.
Okay. This is probably a good time to get quiet.
And sneaky sneak.
Yeah.
Zodd's going into stealth. Advantage or disadvantage?
In the darkness, I would say advantage.
23.
Okay.
Nysra gets advantage as long as she's not moving at full speed. Which, when you're stealthing, you never really are. That'll be a 20.
Okay, and Julinak, your stealth check?
My stealth check? Let's see here.
Can I cast Pass Without a Trace?
You could.
Yes.
Just because I believe that would be helpful in this situation, considering
Yes, please.
sneaking.
That affects the whole group, right?
Yes,
Gives you a +10.
gives you +10.
Ooh.
I got 15.
Okay.
With the +10 from Pass Without Trace.
So that means
Including you had the +10 death, +10 bonus to death stealth checks that cannot be tracked to that by magical means. It's everyone within 30 feet of you that you choose.
All the party.
Which means half of our I'm at a 20. I'm at a 33. Bob is at a 35.
You guys basically pull the Skyrim level 100 stealth and crouch and just immediately become invisible.
With the 10?
With the 10, I rolled a 2.
Oh, Jesus. Well, at least you're not wearing clanky armor.
Exactly.
quiet. What happened?
I mean, admittedly, if we come across people who are cultists and or mage guild people, I can fit in the best.
The creepiest.
I am the creepiest. And
In
I'm
fact, you
I have a
do
question.
have one moment. You
Sorry.
Amory, you do have enough time to be able to change into cultist robes if you need to, as I believe you still have them.
I do. I think I will, actually. It sounds like a good idea.
Okay. Al, your question?
If I cast Pass Without Trace as well, can we stack it?
No.
Damn.
It'd be hilarious because then everything would be getting a +20, but that would be broken.
Okay. So Amarit switches into Worm Cultist Guard. And yeah, how would you guys like to proceed?
Well, question: is there anywhere within 120 feet we can see? Well, Zodd can see right now that is completely empty and wouldn't attract attention if 6 or actually 5? No, wait. How many people are with us?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Believe
6.
it's 6, yeah.
That 6 people could appear and no one would actually care.
Not down the hallway. Not toward where you guys are headed.
All right, because if we need to, I can drop a dimension.
Because the further down the hallway you go, the gradually the brighter the light's going to be, as there are torches near where the dig site is.
All right.
So in between like flickering shadows, like as Nysra passes through, because she's not trying to hide from you, and she's with you, they're just walking quiet. You notice that as she walks into kind of a shadowy area and out into the less shadowy area, that her ropes have changed.
What?
Into what?
Worm cult.
Nice.
Worm.
How did you
Alaskan bullworm.
She has disguise self.
Oh.
So she altered and she looks more like your stereotypical like mook worm cultist.
It's a worm cult card.
Yeah.
Never trust the mooks. They're always out to get you.
So what race is most often found in the worm cult?
It's a mix. It's a pretty good mix. So take your pick.
Okay. Whatever she's seen the most of, she'll just pick like one of them. So I guess.
Well, could it be vampires if they're trying to bring a lot of bags? Old
There
clothes?
there are vampires as part of the worm cult, so yeah. But she's aiming toward making her racial appearance look different. So.
Oh, okay.
So she'll go more. Let's see. We've seen a lot of them that were just some type of human, huh? Nordic would be the closest humans to here.
Nordic or Breton.
She'll make herself look more Breton.
Okay.
Her hair color changes slightly to match your, whatever the average is for height and build and features for a Breton male.
Okay. So, how would you guys like to proceed into the dig site?
The amulet keep off the corpse.
Does everyone see you transform into this?
No, it's more of you're walking and like sometimes there's like between lanterns or whatever, there's like a more shadowy, like darker spot where she kind of just disappears for a brief second. But it's her walking because you see her walk into the darker shadow and walk out of it, and she's changed.
Because with my passive perception being 11, if I didn't notice you change, I'd be like, oh no!
Yeah. We got ambushed! You didn't really notice, but like the only way it could have worked is if she had if it was her.
Just do a head count. Yeah, that's the new person, I think.
She has dark hair now.
What the heck?
Actually, Zodd's going to bring up a suggestion with with the bigger ones of us, couldn't we pretend to be new workers? I mean, we have one who looks just like them now.
You have two who look like them now. Both Amrit and Nysra are dressed as worm cultists.
He thinks he pulls it off better, so he's counting that as one.
Fair. Look at Amrit. Well, do you think they would be accepting of new labor?
I don't see why not.
I mean, think about it. They weren't expecting coming out, but we're brought in with one of them.
Yeah, we can always say we were ordered here.
Yes, and I'm
By the
fairly
dude
sure.
who said.
And I'm fairly sure that Nysra can beguile them in some way or shape or form to believe whatever she spews. If you're going off the stereotypical, don't look in a vampire's eyes or they take your mind from you.
Okay. You know the name of the leader, dude, right?
Leader?
The one that we just murdered.
Oh, no, I did not write that down.
You guys haven't murdered the leader dude here.
That's what I thought.
Oh, okay.
That was just...
Killed one of the...
You incinerated lackeys.
Okay.
Question: if I dismiss Pierre, what happens to him since I didn't summon a spirit but an actual creature?
He'll end up going back to wherever he came from.
See, I want to keep him with us because that's a real good scouting tool, but I don't want to risk Pierre dying because I'm already attached to the little bastard.
You can dismiss him into a familiar pocket space where they linger until you call them back.
Right.
Without dispelling him.
Right. Zodd's going to say to Pierre that he values him. Pierre. Crabby. I value you. I do not wish to see you harmed if our decoy fails.
Pierre skitters, like kind of makes its little clicking noises, and you get the impression that he's saying he values you and the rest of the party as well, but he doesn't want to go because he needs to protect you guys.
He doesn't what? You were breaking up for me, man.
He doesn't. He's not going anywhere because he wants to help protect you guys.
He wants to help.
And Zodd believes in freedom of choice, so he's not going to force the little bastard into the pocket dimension.
Get in my pocket!
Fine.
It's like a Pokemon.
Fine. But Pierre, if it starts to go bad, do not risk yourself. Escape, live, thrive, have a bunch of children, make the most amazing mud crabs there are, and teach them all how
Pierre kind of Pierre makes more of those little clicking noises, and you get this mental image of just like, as it turns out, you get the impression that he has close to 300 children already, all of which are fully grown.
Zodd nods like, good. We continue to bond the Legion, teach them the ways of a blade, the path of vengeance, the death of those who oppose us. My friend. Now, find somewhere to hide and keep close, my little one.
Pierre is the best mud crab ever.
He is.
Yeah, and then he killed
Well,
thieves as he sneaks out from the darkness and murders something that you're getting ready to.
Zodd would be fine with that. Zodd would love that little bastard if he did that shit. Like, you truly are a child of my blood, even if we are not related.
He skitters down off of Julianak's shoulder and into one of the tubes, and into the inner workings of the mechanized areas.
Well, somehow Pierre's going to become a part of the machine god, and it's going to be Pierre, the machine god.
That'd be horrifying.
Oh god.
You know exactly what Pierre would do with that power.
Kill everything.
Okay, shall we do this?
Yep.
Yep.
After you.
So what I was gonna say, what is your guys' plan?
Basically,
Selling the rest of the party to slavery. I mean, there.
Oh my god.
Well, it's either that or we are here to see their progress
Yes.
and report back.
and it would be kind of weird for 6 of us to be coming to check their progress when one of them could do that. So it'd be better off trying to let half the party sneak and the other half be sold off as slaves. I mean,
Well,
willing workers.
there's 2 of us who pass as worm cultists. You guys are all hiding, and hiding pretty well, and so I'm not too worried about them spotting you.
Yeah, but I'm worried about magical detection.
I'm not worried about it.
And I might also make note for you, Emery, that you also know that your friend Aldris Takona still holds some sway in the worm cult, and like you two haven't fallen out from you two are still friends, even though you haven't talked to one another in years. So so because he's got some influence in the worm cult, you don't even have to try stretching the truth so much as to say that Manamarco sent you. You could just say that Aldris sent you.
Yeah, that was my plan.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I'm just gonna go with the checking their progress. I need a progress report.
Okay.
Show me around.
Okay. So
It's a routine, what's it called? Where they come in and they grade you. Thank you.
Inspection?
From the union.
the worm cult has really good dental.
I mean, that's how they must be how they're getting so many followers.
Oh my god, you're Eco Lab. You are literally fucking Eco Lab at this point.
Yeah, the worm cult helps oversee a lot of the restaurants throughout Tamriel. But anyway,
So you guys hide. Nysra and I will speak to whoever's in charge. And if you see us getting into trouble, then you can hop out.
Alright.
Like a plan.
Joanna goes got it to you.
Oh, there is a signal which I will make up. I will make some. That is a signal of jump out, and we are in trouble.
When
Okay.
you say jump out, do you mean jump out and run or jump out and murder things?
Jump out and murder things.
Got it.
I think the signal should be a fireball.
Oh yeah, that'll work.
If you hear a fireball go off,
Wait.
Doesn't matter whose fireball.
My fire.
But what happens if there's major? Okay, that answered that question.
if it
I
is
mean,
a
if there's a
fireball,
fireball,
of any
period.
form, you should probably come in.
But are you sure?
What if it's not even your fireball?
Then you especially should come in.
Yeah.
But what if it's a
Any fireball
non-threatening?
Yeah, what
What
if
is
it's
that again?
But what if it's a non-threatening, gender open fireball?
Okay, anyway.
I'm sorry, I could
Anyway,
let that
just
way
hop
too
in.
far.
So, Nysra and Amri, you walk into the dig site area to find yourself in a large room. Like, there's still a lot of the mechanisms in here, but it looks like there were areas that had been sealed off at one point in time that these workers are trying to get through. It's easily a 3-story room that you're coming out toward the top of. And there are platforms and stuff that kind of form like recently constructed wooden stairwells down to the bottom area. And in the center of the room is a large golden metal automaton that does not appear to be active. It's certainly not the Numidium. It doesn't match the descriptions that you guys have heard and or read about. But it's still a decently sized automaton. And it looks like areas around that, as well as other portions of the wall, are currently being excavated. And standing near the large automaton is a fairly imposing Khajiit man wearing robes that are decorated with spider webbing. And it looks like he's the one who's calling out orders to the rest of the workers.
Always the Khajiit.
Excuse you. That's a bit racist.
Okay, we head toward Khajiit dude.
Okay. As you approach, he turns and looks at you, says, "This one has a lot of work to do. What is your business here?" This one thought that the worm cult had already moved on to the next room.
Next what? Sorry, say that again.
To the next room. The next room.
Okay. We came to see your progress.
You doubt this one's progress?
I do not, but I have reports to make. So please show me your progress.
Reports. Who's your superior? I need to lodge a complaint. We just had an inspection the other day.
Aldous Tacona can send an inspection whenever he pleases.
His eyes widen a bit. Aldous? So, why would Aldous have any interest in our work here?
I do not ask questions. I do what he tells me to.
He sighs. He says, "All right, fine. But
He's like, I'm not arguing with that one.
do make it quick. We have much to do."
Okay. Make it quick.
So what do you do now that you've got clearance to inspect this area?
You look around.
Okay.
And I write things, like little things in my little notebook, like I'm grading them.
Mm-hmm.
Really, you're just taking note of the architecture and how the
Exactly.
are shaped.
I do want to get this Khajiit's name so I can write it down and write down that he's difficult.
Difficult.
Now that's just mean.
He just says, "This one's name is Josedris."
Josedris, okay. Okay, and then I just go on inspecting stuff.
Okay. Nysra, what are you up to in here?
I keep like just a little bit behind Emery as if I'm a subordinate.
Mm-hmm.
And just kind of studying stuff occasionally, like acting as if I'm inspecting particular things, equipment, and like the men themselves
Mhm.
as they're working.
For the most part, it's a mixture of enslaved commoners, a few worm cultists, but mostly spider cultists. And in fact, when you peer over to look at the work of one of the worm cultists, he kind of turns to you, and you see the glowing orange eyes of a vampire. He says, "Can I help you?"
What are you doing here? And she gestures to the work that he's working on, whatever he was doing.
You see in front of you a small, much smaller automaton. It's got several legs and appears very much so to be in like the shape of a spider. He says, "Well, I was asked to clean this and get it ready for repurposing. Um, and I mean, not entirely sure why, but Josadris is he kind of leans in and whispers, Josadris can kind of be a bit of a slave driver sometimes."
You mean a bitch?
Oh, by the way, her aura cloaking thing, it would even prevent a vampire from.
No, I know.
Okay. She kind of leans in and kind of smiles and says, "He is nothing compared to the master I serve."
Kinky.
And then just like gently like kind of grip his shoulder. Have it lucky, just to instill a little bit of fear in him because she finds it funny.
He kind of gives a bit of a nervous grin, and he says, "Certainly, no priest of Mephala will ever have anything on Manamarco. That's for sure." And he says, "But for the sake of this," and he kind of, almost with a look of disgust, he says, "Alliance. I must keep working."
Mm. And she kind of studies she watches him for a few more minutes and she goes on.
Okay. Emery.
Mm-hmm.
You eventually come across what looks to be a tunnel that's finally been opened up. It's not lit further down, but you do hear the sounds of more mechanisms further down that tunnel. And a couple of spider cultists are kind of clearing away some of the rubble, and they look at you expectantly, like as if they were waiting for some questions or stuff. This is not the first time they've had an inspection.
I want, let's see. I will just go down the hall and see what they're clearing out. I'll like totally ignore them. They're not important.
One of them reaches out and calls out to you, a young Dwemer. He says, "I wouldn't go down there yet. We haven't progressed down there. We want to make sure it's safe first."
Okay. I want to get my angry face on and be like, I know what I am doing.
Go ahead and do an intimidation check.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. I want to get on my angry face and be like, you guys are behind schedule.
That's still an intimidation check.
Oh, okay. Intimidation. Roll well, D20. Ooh, 22.
He kind of pulls back a little bit. He's like, I thought we were ahead of schedule. Did we lose track of time?"
What do you mean you're not done yet? You're supposed to be done yesterday. Yeah.
Oh, that's just mean.
Well, if it's not done yet, then it's behind.
Tell me what you have found.
Is Nysra saying that?
No.
No.
Oh.
No, if she was gonna say anything to them, it would probably be their life.
Tell me what you have found so far, since you have not made the progress we anticipated.
Well, according to what I've been hearing, this tunnel should lead further and closer to the machine. I'm just a worker. I don't know much.
The workers are the backbone of these projects. I expect you to know what is going on.
He kind of stops for a moment and then looks at you. He's like, "That is exactly what I have been saying for months. It's so good to finally know that somebody's listening." He's like, I have been working here without a break for almost 12 hours.
What? I turn to Josedris.
Mm-hmm.
With my best, I'm above you in station face, and be like, I hear your workers have not gotten a break. Exhausted workers cannot dig. They cannot do what they are tasked with. Give these men a break.
He snarls at you. He says, "This one can do with other spider cultists what this one wishes. They are not your workers. They are this one's."
Wait. I think someone needs to join.
What's that?
They muted themselves. They said they think someone was at the door.
Oh. Well, we'll pop back over to them. You guys hiding in the shadows. What are you up to?
Oh god.
Every time.
Okay.
We will never get to leave the shadows. We have become part of the shadow realm. Yeah.
Shaw.
Cha.
Oh God.
Except for shadows make. Just go chaw in the night.
Yeah.
Gunte va yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Aren't you so glad that you're in the shadows with them, Toshtar? This is what your company is.
Yep.
This isn't Zodd. This is Al speaking right now.
I know.
Julinak's in the shadows.
Yeah,
I know.
Druinek is in the shadow.
I know.
I wonder if she's
Can we see that giant automaton from where we are in the shadows?
You guys can see the top of its head.
that would probably be a good idea.
Julinak.
Emreit's not talking to you as Emreit is down on the.
Because
Yeah,
Emily
they're not
knows
there.
Steve can't.
No.
Oh,
I'm
dang.
not in the same area as you.
Yeah, no,
but
they're-
you know,
they're-
but you
they're
can like
good
give
too.
me a signal.
No,
The
it's a
signal
fine.
was a fireball.
Zod just gonna lean over like that scepter of yours controls the automaton, yeast.
That's true. I mean, with that, we can create a distraction.
I mean, we don't know what automaton it controls yet. May as well try it on every automaton we come
Exactly.
across.
Let's do it.
Point it at the big one. Maybe we can cause a little chaos. Yeah.
Well, like I said, it can cause a distraction, make them like go over there or go wherever I'm controlling it, and like.
We don't even know if it can control it yet.
That's what
Let's
I'm
find
saying.
out.
Try it on that
But
one,
it
y'all.
can control like automatons.
No.
Yeah.
No,
It
no,
just-
A
it's-
little whispering voice in your mind, the voice of reason says, wait until the people who are down there tell you to do something before you get them killed.
the voice of reason gets shot by the miniature Zod voice. Do it. Do it now.
You have to take a
Chop off.
sip of
Little
this drink.
angel and devil on your shoulder.
Joy, I have to take a sip of this drink and see, like, I think we should just wait, man.
Coward.
You're a coward.
Fine. While he waits, he's going to basically be sharing senses with God damn it,
With Pierre?
Pierre. Thank you. Yeah.
Your connection to Pierre actually is beginning to diminish, like he's moving out of range.
Oh.
Oh, shit.
Shit. It's either Zodd moves or he loses the connection with Pierre for a little while.
Unfortunately, the direction in which you sense Pierre going leads into the large room.
Well, shit. Pierre is that way. If my little crab dies, one of you is going with him.
What? What do you mean? What happened to Pierre?
He's going that
Nothing's
way.
happened to him yet.
The range of the connection between me and the familiar is dying. He's getting too far away.
He'll come back into range if he comes back. You just can't see through his eyes right now.
Oh no, Zodd is just making it apparent. If Pierre dies, one of them is dying with him.
Why? Okay.
Pierre will be avenged.
Because he likes his crab. It might involve all the cultists dying too and someone getting punched, but someone's dying if Pierre dies. Zodd likes that crab. That crab is a true Argonian trapped in the wrong shape and size.
Okay. So what are you guys doing?
At this point,
Well,
nothing.
Yeah, at this point, we're just still hiding. We're still waiting for you to get in some sort of trouble or something.
Man, one of us should brought a deck of cards. We could have played fucking 21 pickup. Or
I think I have cards.
Definitely flyers, dice up at the top.
Just hear dice rolling.
Yeah, I got cards with me.
Fuck it, yeah.
Go
what do you
fish.
say? Yeah, go fish. Us three just play go fish while we wait.
Yeah, we can do that.
Zodd cheats, but I'm not going to tell you. I'm not going to tell you how.
So,
Tell me how to go fish.
So, Brenna, you heard what Justadrus's reaction was?
Yes. And
Okay.
my response is to say that the worm cultists that are working under him, because you said there were a couple, should get a break.
He kind of
Then.
snarls and then looks over at the small group of worm cultists and nods and kind of growls a command to go take a 15-minute break. So, and
they
then
haven't been allowed to take a break for 12 hours. God help them, because they probably have to take a piss like a horse.
Yeah, he can like sue their asses, you know. Like this is going against like the civil or like the rights of workers.
I don't think the worm cult would
You mean-
care. It's a cult.
They listen to Ecolab. They have to have some level of care.
No, they. Okay, so I give the spider cultists a
The worm cultist.
no, the one I was talking to.
Oh, okay.
A sidelong glance of, sorry, there's nothing I can do, and then move on.
Perhaps you picked the wrong cult.
Perhaps you picked the wrong cult.
Our cult is unionized.
So are you heading down the dark tunnel?
Yes.
Okay. Nysra, are you following Amrit or remaining in the room?
She'll follow.
Okay. So, both of you luck out in that both of you have some pretty decent dark vision.
Yeah.
I can also cast dancing lights if I need to.
Nah.
Yeah.
Dark for the win.
And the tunnel goes on for a while before opening up into another large antechamber. This one housing what appears to be a workshop. There are some old workbenches and stuff like that made out of stone, with metal implements and such on top of them. Some of them have soul gems littered on top of them. There are incomplete automatons here and there. And also on the far side of it is a large golden metal portcullis that is blocking off another room further beyond.
Okay. So there's stuff in this room, and they think this will lead to the thing that I forgot.
Yeah.
That medium?
Mhm.
Okay. Okay. I write down my quote-unquote assessment. Spend like a good 2 minutes down here, and
Okay.
then come back up.
So what are you doing in your 2 minutes down there?
Taking a closer look at everything.
Okay.
See what it is that makes them think, or try to figure out what makes them think that the numidium thing
I would say the
done
gold
this way.
door.
Yeah, probably. Probably the gold door.
That's my vote.
Is the gold door just blocked, or is it locked?
It's closed. If you'd like to investigate it, if you'd like to investigate it, you may.
I would like to do that. But I want to take advantage of my passive investigation,
Mhm.
which is a 19. Or I can
Same.
roll an investigation check if you want.
It's up to you. If you're just kind of giving it a look over, it looks like it is a giant kind of double layered portcullis. But when you look through the bars, you see a large chamber with something glowing up above, and you're not quite able to make it out, but it does look like there is a large metallic something in there, and it's absolutely humongous.
Oh. Can I roll an investigation check and out
Probably a
door?
perception check.
Perception check? Okay.
Are you doing that on the door or through the door to see what's further beyond?
Well, if they could open the door, then they probably would have opened by now.
I mean, they only just accessed the tunnel that leads toward this room, so they have not sent anybody further in because, you're the first person to have stepped foot in here in centuries.
Okay.
If not an age.
Wait. So the room looks like no one aside from Nysra and Amrit have been in here?
Yep.
Ooh, those soul gems are
Yep,
in my pocket.
I was gonna say, and those gems, I have no idea.
You were cutting in and out there.
Since it's obvious that no one else has been down here aside from us two, those soul gems that were on the desk are no longer on the desk.
Yeah, you guys
Okay.
get 10 soul gems. 6 are petty, and 1 is grand. 1 is black.
I want the black one.
Like your soul.
And the
Yeah.
the remainder are why am I spacing?
Fragments or lesser?
Lesser.
I will take 3 petty and the black one.
We
and
can
you
handle
have
this
the
later. Okay, so yeah, I think I will look past this portcullis and see what I can see.
Okay. So, what do your elf eyes perceive?
My elf eyes see with a 22 whatever they see.
You're not able to see much, but as you're looking, you do see these strange almost like channels on either side of the hallway beyond that portcullis that leads into that large room. They look like some sort of weird channel on either side of the hallway, as well as a few smaller, almost like nozzles, set in at regular intervals going down that hallway.
It's a damn steam puzzle.
Oh.
So this is on the other. This is on the other side of the portcullis, the part that you haven't gone to yet.
The other side of the what that I haven't gone to?
The portcullis.
Oh, okay.
It's what you're seeing beyond the portcullis.
Okay.
So,
Okay. We have what we came down here for. Shall we head back up and see what the worm cult is doing?
Do we want them to get this? They found the chamber to it.
We should try and make sure they don't.
And how do you want to go about doing that?
Is there... Okay, so this portcullis is blocking the path down the way.
Yeah.
Okay. And it's like a door?
It's like a door.
Okay. Does it have a lock on it?
Go ahead and do another perception check for me.
That'd be 16.
On the door itself, no. But you do see nearby there are a couple of levers that look like they might control each portion of the portcullis individually.
Each portion of the what you cut out?
That might control each portion of the portcullis individually.
Oh, okay.
That's part of why it's so hard to see further beyond, is because it's a multi-layered portcullis, like 2 or 3 all layered up right there in front of you, kind of blocking your path.
Okay, so we should make sure that these don't turn for now, but we'll want them to turn when we come back and kill all these cultists.
And how do you plan on going about that?
Do not know.
Nysra has a way to make them not turn. You just won't get to turn them later.
Well, we just want to slow them down.
Because she could acid them.
No.
Like I said, she has a way to make it not work.
Like we want to get into that
Wait,
room.
she has mending.
Yeah.
She could make it not work for just long enough.
Yeah, and I have mending too, so we can like tackle. Okay, acid these suckers.
Okay. So he asks for it to. Emery's like, I want to make it not work. Fix it later, and she's like, okay. So she'll go over to the lever.
Mm-hmm.
As that seems the best place to deal with it. Is there a way to... I want to find a spot where my acid can do the most damage to the levers to jam them in place, like lock them. Like if shit melted in there, it would just be just awful.
Where are they attached to the wall? I mean, that would make the most sense, wouldn't it?
Well, no, I want to actually just the levers themselves, not the actual doors.
Cut the levers off and take them with you.
I mean, that would work.
No. Well, you could also use the levers to the bases of the levers, so the levers can't move.
Anyone got a very high focus fire spell so we can just spot weld them?
Acid will work. It should be okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So you acid them?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
It's quite a bit of acid too.
It stinks. It like it's not a pleasant smell. Because acid. But
acid, not metal.
Okay.
Especially because this looks like more like a black tar that emits from her hand as she runs her fingers along the spots where she wants the stuff to melt.
Okay.
It looks pretty gnarly.
She hasn't had a boyfriend or anything of that sort in a long, long time, has she?
Nah.
Like, the acid touch alone would be more than enough to scare away any suitor.
Fair enough.
All right. So, with that done, what would you guys like to do?
Head back up.
Okay. And just Adris is waiting expectantly. Well,
It is fair progress. It seems promising.
and this one supposes that you want to wait for other worm cultists to go down there and take a look first, no?
I do. Correct guess.
Kind of hisses quietly, but it just says, "Fine, have it your way." And then he kind of looks over at another tunnel that has been opened and already lit. He says, "And what about that one? Are you going to inspect that one too? After all, that's where the rest of your cultists went."
Of course, in due time.
And he goes, "Fine. Is that all? This one has much work to do."
That is all.
Okay.
Motherfucker.
Is it bad that part of me wants to use my vampiric seduction on this asshole?
I'll be honest, in my mind, when you said motherfucker, I'm just imagining Zodd just throw down a pair of 4s.
Okay,
So-
shall we go check out the cultist?
Sure.
Okay.
Alright, move on to the worm cultists.
Okay.
It's like
Burn for the one called
24 hours.
Yeah, so just not send anyone down there.
No, we'll see. We'll see if it becomes a problem.
Zodd's going to poke Jelinek and like, so
Okay.
you sure you don't want to hear
Tunnel
that
number
on the side?
2.
Well, it looks like they're handling it right now. I don't.
Well, I'll be honest with you. I only have maybe 4 more hands of the fish in me before I go stabbing someone.
Do you want to play blackjack?
Oh, by the way, how many people are down here?
That's a very excellent question.
In which room?
All of the rooms. From this big chamber, that other room. Nysra's tallying up a body count.
So, you're not sure what's in the room that the worm cultists are all in? However, in this room, there's easily a good, 20, 30 workers, and then a couple of overseers, and then, of course, the head overseer, Josadris.
So we got, 30 people?
Closer to 35.
Okay.
I just thought of something.
Mm.
How wide did you say the gap was between the two sides earlier?
The chasm?
Yeah.
Further than 100
Where we
feet.
Would dimensional door be wide enough to take the party across?
I mean, you guys aren't having to worry about crossing that at the moment.
Oh no, I'm a full completionist kind of map person.
Oh, we're completing the map. Don't worry.
See,
Okay. Dimensional door requires that you have to see where your jump is, right?
I believe so.
no, I can actually just give you a general location. It's just if I land in a spot that's occupied, it shunts me and everyone with me either to. Yeah, no, it fails and we all take 4d6.
Okay. Because I was going to say, if you wait till we got back, Nysra could count steps coming back up.
Yeah, if you tell me
Which
if
is what
it's like.
she's been doing, because she has a couple teleporty things that she can do. And
Like, if you tell me, if it's, at a 45-degree angle down 300 feet, I can hit that room without having to go through there at all, and I can take all of us.
okay.
As long as it's within 500 feet of where we're at right now.
Okay, let's check out the worm cultists.
Okay. So you guys you guys head down a shorter little corridor, and you're in another room, but this looks like it might have once been living quarters for the Dwemer. Fairly squat, small rooms, very utilitarian. But here and there are some pots with ancient, petrified, plants and stuff like that. And there, you can even hear the sound of running water. Like there might be some sort of spring down here that is feeding into a central fountain. And there are a few worm cultists kind of going around taking notes on what they're seeing. Some are relaxing by the fountains because they're on break. And in
And they all got like tiny cups of water and things like, so George, how would
Yeah, this is the first time we've ever had a break while working here.
And in a larger central room further down, still a Dwemer living space, but it's larger and looks a little bit more ornate. You can see an Imperial dressed in worm cultist robes, kind of leaning over a desk, and scattered on this desk is also some various arcane implements that look like they're of Dwemer origin.
I'm intrigued.
God.
I'm gonna go ask him for the status update.
Okay. So you head up to him and he looks up at you. He says, I don't recognize you. What's your business?
I've been sent for a random pop inspection.
Random inspection? Who cleared it? Clearly it wasn't me, and I'm the one overseeing this dig.
I was sent by Aldous Sakona.
He looks surprised. Aldris? I thought he was more concerned with events going on in Cyrodiil.
And where? You cut out.
I thought he was more concerned with events. I thought he was more concerned with events going on in Cyrodiil.
Aldris has many fingers and many pies.
He kind of laughs. He says, "That sounds like him." Anyway, well, I mean, if you're here for an inspection, you're free to check out anything that's going on. Everything here is on paper, and we've been in decent communication with Manamarco.
You're breaking up really bad for me. I'm gonna hop in and out of the call real quick.
Okay.
Back.
Okay. And what is your name?
He kind of stops. He's like, "You're the first inspector to actually ask me that." And he extends a hand as if to shake your hand. He says, my name is Sammy." Hold on, sorry, I opened up the wrong set of notes. My name is Ferrum. Ferrum Vermis.
Okay, you are the first person in charge that's actually seemed like they know what they're doing. I thought I would commend you. Write down you're doing your job.
He kind of nods. He says, "Thank you. But in all honesty, the work here being done is not just for Manamarco's benefit, but it's for the benefit of the entire cult of the worm. There's
Exactly. Thank you. There's a
whole of the Alaskan bullworm.
You have a healthy respect for your work, and do it for. I appreciate that.
He smiles. He says, "It's for the glory of Manamarco and Molag Bal. I'm intent to do as much as I can. Do you have any questions about what's going on here? I'll do my best to answer what I can."
I do actually. Please explain what you are doing here.
He actually kind of lights up. From his mannerisms and appearance, it looks like he's roughly a middle-aged Imperial given his movements and everything, you're pretty sure he's a mage. He kind of gestures toward the implements on the table. He says, well, if legends are to be believed, there may have been a prototype for the Numidium kept here. And he says, we still don't know where the Numidium itself is, but if we can get our hands on the prototype, there's something then that's something as opposed to nothing. He kind of gestures, and you see scattered across this table are several different types of control rod. He says, what I'm mostly trying to do right now is figure out if there's a way to combine the different components of the control rods to make them able to control Numidium. We haven't been able to find a control rod specific to such a. He kind of thinks for a moment. He says, "Machine."
That seems like a reasonable idea.
He nods and he says, "At first, I thought it was just a matter of combining the control rods, but it's just too simple." He's like, "Now I'm looking to see if perhaps there's the matter of souls." He says, "Most of these rods work off of passive energy, but I'm curious as to whether black soul gems may be able to power them enough to be able to override any sort of magical failsafes that the Numidium might have."
Intriguing. And have you deciphered the writing on the side of these?
He shakes his head. He's like, "Unfortunately, I'm only limited in how much knowledge I have of Dwemer culture, and there's no way I could possibly read this."
It was too bad.
He nods. Indeed. I mean, there are some scholars, such as in Markarth and whatnot, who might be able to know, but unfortunately, we don't have the resources to either abduct them or steal any of their journals.
Mm-hmm. Be an intriguing idea, however. What else are we doing here? How many workers do you have, and what have they accomplished so far?
Everything you see that's been excavated, that's the workers' work right there.
Well,
I mean, while I don't quite approve of Josabrus's mentality and how he treats his workers, he has proven to be quite effective, and of course our cultists have been doing really well. I'm no more than 8 hours each day. They're getting plenty of rest, plenty of sleep, and
Oh god,
Yeah.
they are unionized!
Wait, what?
I told you they were a fucking eco lab.
are you aware that Josedros has been working a few worm cultists for 12 hours without a break?
Has he?
He has. He also states that he is doing all of the work in this expedition.
Well, perhaps I will need to speak with the local priestess of Mafala. Make sure that things are put right. After all, this was not part of our deal.
Sorry, what was the last bit of that sentence?
This was not part of our deal.
Ah.
Too bad you can't just ask what exactly are the details of that deal, by the way.
I'm trying to think if there's a way I can phrase it. I can.
Would you perhaps be able to give me a refresher of your particular deal?
Oh,
Concerning...
Josh? The worm cultists
Mm-hmm.
and worm cults, when they've popped up here and there, were they known to make deals with other groups?
No.
So this is a new thing?
This is a fairly new thing.
Okay, so you have fair justification to ask what sort of deals. You're from out of town.
So, what are the particulars?
You haven't been informed?
I did not get the details.
That's unfortunate. I would have thought that Aldris would have filled you in, but I guess he has his reasons. He says, we didn't know that we'd be able to find any hint of a Numidium here until a member of the cult of Mephala told us about it. He says, in fact, Narcissus Dren has been surprisingly informative.
Narcissus Dren was here.
Yes, he's been traveling, going from place to place. I mean, working for that cult wherever he goes, and using his books as a cover for what he does.
Of course.
Oh god.
The wimpy man was a oh god.
The lying sack of crap. And you've had the misfortune of working with, or coming across him before.
That is fair. Let's see. Ferrum, I'm going to level with you. I have worked with Narcissus Dren before,
He is
and I have
dead.
found him to be untrustworthy, coward, who seeks only his own personal gain. I would not be surprised if whatever he told you or was complete fiction.
Oh, what we used him for mostly was scouting. While he was able to provide us with plenty of information, most of what we're working off of was corroborated by other members of Mephala's cult.
Say that sentence again. You broke up again.
I think we all need to jump out and jump back in because everyone's trying to break up at this point. Or is Irish and Dragon just breaking up really bad for me?
We're on the same Wi-Fi, so
Okay.
I don't know if jumping in and jumping out will help the GM for us.
What I learned from Discord, the longer you let it sit, the more better the communication gets. Or
Yeah.
the more better connections gets.
Wait, so
Yeah.
Josh, say that sentence again.
Basically, he was saying that that all of the information that they got from Dren was corroborated by other spider cultists.
Oh, okay.
So we're not operating blindly here.
Damn, they're not stupid. They are unionized.
That is good. Double checking his work is a prerequisite.
Honestly, between you and me, double checking the work of any spider cultist is worth it.
They are not as respectful to the information and as thorough as we are.
It's not their thoroughness that concerns me. It's their dedication to lies and secrecy.
Yes, that must be taken into account.
And he nods. He says, "Well, is there anything else I can? Is there anything else that I can assist you with? I do have quite a bit of work left to do."
Oh man.
No, of course, I do not want to keep you. Everything seems in order in here.
He nods, smiles, and says, "Thank you. If you're headed back to Aldris, do send him my regards."
I will.
Okay.
I leave the vicinity.
Okay.
Let's go back up to where everyone else is.
Okay. From the hallway that led down to the chamber that had
the
doors,
Uh-huh.
the fancy. So once we get back out into that open, kind of mentally count our distance coming back up to the group.
Okay. So once you guys get up to the group, what do you do?
About how far is the tunnel? Well, that chamber even that was right where the levers were, from where we are now.
I'd say maybe a good 700 feet.
Okay.
It's a decent distance.
And there's nowhere we could get to that would be close enough to get us there without being noticed.
Probably not.
In the tunnel, since they're still on break, how far away is the tunnel? That leads down to the room.
Like 700 feet.
No, I thought you said the room was 700 feet.
The room is 700 feet.
But what about the tunnel? Deep enough into the tunnel where they won't notice us?
Probably looking at closer to 500.
I were skimming if I got to and do exactly 500 feet. If you can give me an angle.
How many people can make themselves invisible?
I can't.
I
can't
can't.
either.
I can't.
I had too many concentration spells, so I didn't take invisibility.
Okay. Because I can make you guys all except for Shadow Colossus over there. Because it will expire once he casts spell.
I am not that big.
Pretty fucking big, dude.
You just need a hug.
You don't hug. Just not a bear hug, an alligator.
Yes. Actually, I am a crocodile. Please do not insult me.
Crocodile hug.
Yes.
Well, I can't. I don't think I've seen your. Well, I think a picture
Up
of
to
you.
3 people invisible.
What?
I could make the remaining 3 aside from invisible for the shadow jump, and then Emery and I could just walk back down there, or mill about or whatever.
If you can give me shadows, I can go 60 feet at a time. Or we could attempt to use Julian Axe Rod on that half-buried giant.
Oh yes, Julianak, please. There is a very large construct down there, which I think maybe your scepter would be able to control.
We can see the head from here, so you could always
Okay.
try. I mean, what's the worst that can happen?
No, different.
Oh, there's an even bigger one?
There's a bigger one.
Yeah, there's a bigger.
Wait, we should try on that one first. If that one doesn't work, then do the bigger one.
Yeah, try it on the
medium-sized one.
Colossus. But
Okay.
not the other one. Yeah.
I guess it's time for a test run. So I guess I mean.
Zodd,
Yes.
your mental connection with Pierre breaks.
Breaks because he got out of range, or breaks because he's dead?
You can't tell.
Zodd kind of stares off to where he last felt the connection. Someone's going to die.
What's wrong? What's wrong, man?
The connection to the little one disappeared.
Here?
Range.
Yes.
He gotta be fine. I mean, he's a strong crab.
He is well adversed with getting himself out of situations.
He has a knife. He'll be fine.
He will be fine.
If given an hour's time, I can large chamber.
You would have to ask Pierre about that one. But
The one with the robot god in it.
Zulinak, may I see your rod?
I have a
I don't
that
think
I
we
can
can.
summon.
I'm gonna try it out. I got it first.
Yeah.
Okay, let's try using your scepter. Let's get you in a good spot where you can see a little bit more of the.
I kind of feel like magic would have to use it. Just saying.
Oh. That might be wise.
Nysra's just like, I don't think the monk is quite qualified for such a device.
Juliet, can I
I
see your
have magic.
This,
I can actually do magic, actually. Well, only a cantrip.
this
Can
is
I
why
see your scepter?
What?
Can I see your scepter?
Wouldn't it be better to give it to the person who can teleport to any shadow within range?
We don't need to teleport. We just need to get close enough.
All right.
He goes berserk so we can run the fuck away.
All right, Amber. Here you go.
Sweet.
Knock 'em dead, boy. Huh?
Okay,
Okay.
so
I want to get like a good view of it. Like not maybe get a little bit closer, but not a lot.
okay.
Like still out of sight of Joe. What's his face?
Hmm.
And see if I can get the rod to activate. Run my hand over it.
Okay. So
You
the
stroke that rod.
the rod activates.
Trap rod.
The rod activates, but you don't see any movement come from the large construct. Instead, you see the several little spider-like constructs immediately activate and start purring to life.
Attack.
Yeah, fucking get him to attack.
Attack my children.
Right.
Fighters for the fighter god.
Attack the spider cultists with the
spiders.
Oh, the irony.
Hilarious.
Is that what you're doing?
Yeah, do it.
Okay, the sounds of combat begin to erupt throughout that room. You guys hear some worm cultists. Some of them are jumping into the fray in order to attempt to keep the deal alive. A few of them are laughing at the situation.
The spider cultists are getting attacked by mechanical spiders. Yes.
Yeah.
Fucking. If popcorn was such a thing, Nysra would be eating it right now.
And-
Was it already established that it was a thing?
And down below, you see Josadris pulls a rod out of his robes, and he points it at the large automaton.
Oh my god, he has it. Okay.
Oh my
And he
God.
points it and he activates it just as Zodd, your connection with Pierre reestablishes itself.
What? Yay!
And
Save the land.
the mental sensation you're getting is that of falling.
Is what?
Is that of falling. Of falling.
Pierre was on top of the robot.
No. He was above the robot because you can see him come out of a hole in the ceiling, land on top of the giant, on top of the,
The robot?
on top of the giant.
Zodd is just tilting his entire body at this point in the shadow, like, the fuck you doing, Pierre?
And you see him crawl around on the head of the construct for a brief moment, and then Josadris' rod kind of begins to spark a bit, and the Centurion begins to fight the spiders, the spider cultists, and the worm cultists, all that are in the room.
Zodd
go
is
ahead.
Going to,
Go ahead
Zodd-
and make some perception checks.
Zodd is just oozing, like utterly oozing respect for Pierre right now. He's shoving it through the telepathic link, like you are a true child of the Godians.
You're a sweet child of mine.
I need some perception checks from everybody except for Zodd. Amory, you get advantage given your vantage
do I
point.
need to make a perception
Do I
check?
also get advantage since I was standing right next to him? So him and I are the only ones that should be seen.
Yeah,
Question.
Nysra. Hold on, Nysra
Sorry.
and Amory get to make perception with advantage. Everyone else except for Zodd needs to make regular perception checks. Zodd does not need to make a perception check.
Yeah, because I'm sharing sight and hearing with
Yeah.
with the air. Oh god, I'm getting a front row.
Oh my
Now I wish I had fucking. Now Zodd wish he's had popcorn as well. He's getting a front row seat to this shit. You know, besides this being kind of not nausea-inducing from it swinging around and slicing and stuff, this is amazing to watch. I'm adopting Pierre. There will be a half Argonian crab man running around at some point.
So, Nysra and Amrit, you're able to see it clearly. Pierre has worked his way inside the head of the construct and is now like moving his legs in such ways as to be able to control it like some sort of giant mech. Julinak, you can't see that. You just know that the Centurion seems to be paying you guys no mind.
I'm also guessing that whatever the cat dude's name is, Joe something. Josedris does not look pleased, as the robot is definitely not doing what he wanted it to do.
He's not pleased, and it looks like he's beginning to back up, almost terrified. And just as he's about ready to turn and run, the Centurion brings its hammer arm right down on top of him, and you don't see anything left of him.
Yeah, no. Remember when I said Zodd was oozing pride through the telepathic link? Yeah, no. Zodd is now promising Pierre at least 300 more wives. He is a true Argonian hero, true Argonian warrior, and trapped in a crab body.
The Centurion turns around, looks at you guys, and with its axe arm, it kind of waves at you guys.
Aww.
Nice.
And more worm cultists begin. What's that?
So he just murdered like 30-something people between him and the spider robots.
And on top of that,
is all we're saying.
On top of that, worm cultists are beginning to spill out of the other hallway.
Oh, just get murdered.
And Pierre makes the Centurion bend over, kind of look at them, and you see just this cone of superheated steam come out of the mouth of the Centurion. And when he gets back up, it's just a bunch of steaming corpses.
Yeah, Zodd has the most manly of tears running from one eye right now. He is so proud of his child at this point.
Nysra, have you been counting?
They're just murdered.
Yeah, we've been counting. Yeah.
You're pretty sure all that's left might be like 2 or 3 worm cultists and Ferrum.
Yeah, Zodd's gonna walk in there and like fuck stealth at this point. He's gonna walk up to Centurion and hug it.
So you walk up to its leg and just hug its leg.
Like you just see a little crocodile man hugging a fucking Centurion.
Are those like 1 or 2 worm cultists?
They're standing further down the hallway looking terrified. Ferrum is looking very pissed.
Can you repeat what you said? You broke up there. All I heard was 1 or 2, and then Ferrum is pissed.
They look terrified, and Ferrum looks pissed.
So Zodd's gonna look at Ferrum. Hello.
Hello.
Kill him. Kill him. Kill him.
Kill him. Kill him. Kill him.
Oh no, I'm gonna let him talk first.
Are you the only one down in that room aside from the Centurion?
Aside from the fucking Centurion, apparently yes.
Ferrum.
Zodd needed to hug his child.
Ferrum looks at you, says, "Who in Oblivion are you, and what are you doing here?"
I'm Zodd, and this is my robot baby.
Right.
His name is Pierre.
Let me get into a proper voice for this. My name is Zodd. I am an Argonian. This is Pierre. He's actually a crab, but he's Argonian trapped in a crab body who is now piloting your Centurion. I have slaughtered your people. I have raided this home, and now I claim it as mine. You may either bend a knee or you will die.
he sneers. He says, "You know nothing of what you've just done." And he takes up a staff and levels it at you. He says, "You have two choices: die or leave."
What about?
That's a trick question.
What about choice 3?
Pierre, kill him.
Go, my boy.
Make Papa proud.
No, I'm talking about all the spiders that are still left.
What spiders?
Did you kill them all by accident?
What?
Aren't there still the mechanical spiders?
Yeah, I thought the mechanical spiders were still left.
In the room in which the Centurion is? No.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
This is in that main room where Chisadris was. There are no more spiders of either kind. Pierre took care of that for you.
Yeah, so I was gonna look at him. So I leave and you don't kill me. I stay and you kill me. That sounds like you're fucking with me.
He smiles. He smiles and he says, "You might just be right." And he casts a he casts a lightning bolt at you.
Can we see him from where we are?
Oh,
No.
please tell me what save I need to make.
You guys can't see him. Zodd's the only one. Like, you guys can overhear at least Zodd's half of the conversation.
It's dexterity, right?
Give me a moment.
Lightning bolt. Hurt me a little bit.
I know he will.
Hurt me a little bit. Just hurt me a little
Dexterity
bit.
saving throw.
I rolled an 18.
An 18.
18.
I have a plan.
That actually did not succeed.
What? Okay.
Okay, so you are going to take some lightning damage. I need to break out some more dice.
Why? Is it going to do 66 hits? 66 hit points.
Is the nice thing about my vampire action.
That's all I'm wondering, because if it's not, can I go ahead and roll my hellish rebuke?
Do it even if we're.
Hold on.
Okay.
Yeah, you can help him.
I love this reaction attack now. Like, this one attack has made me love Zodd even more.
So many dice. Okay.
Zodd explodes. Oh. Maybe.
It's 8d6 of dice.
You take 29 lightning damage.
Okay. Is he within 60 feet of me?
Closer to 80.
Oh! No! No!
Just out of range.
Hellish Rebuke can't... Hellish Rebuke... Oh, that's... Oh! That's 60 feet. Damn it.
So you guys see lightning just burst out of the tunnel that Zodd's talking down, and smack into Zodd.
You said I took how much?
29.
Question, Josh.
Yes.
If I jumped from the ledge that I'm at, hold on, and then Misty stepped when I got closer towards the ground to a distance 60 feet closer to the tunnel where asshole McDouche lightning bolt is. Would that work?
Movement bonus. Wait,
you could try.
Misty Step's a reaction, ain't it?
Yeah.
Can you use a reaction without being attacked?
Yes.
You can try.
Because I was trying to figure out how to close the distance fast enough.
Zodd's not gonna die.
Then I also realized, I don't know if Nysra would necessarily.
I'm just wishing Hellish Rebuke had just a little bit more range.
Yeah, Nysra's just gonna start heading down there. She's not exactly running.
Okay.
Just a little bit more range. It would just a little.
Girl.
I think that's the only reaction spell I have.
There's not too many reaction spells, so I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't take Misty Step either, so
That's okay. You're fine.
Josh, it was both. But now the Haley is awake again.
Okay.
You cast nap.
It was super effective.
Haley cast nap. It's stupid.
I would like everybody to roll initiative then.
Amazing.
All right.
With a nap.
Goody.
What do you want to do?
What's going on? Crab is
ah, damn it. I double rolled, but I double rolled because my internet lagged, but this is the first one I rolled.
You're rolling initiative.
I got 5.
It's 10.
I could have swore he was within 60 feet, but oh well. I'm becoming reliant on Hellish Rebuke, aren't I? Yeah, I shouldn't do that. Getting reliant on Hellish Rebuke is bad. Okay.
Okay.
Does Phantom Force work as Force Wall? No. No, it
Okay.
doesn't.
So Zodd, you're at the top of the initiative order.
Oh, I'm hungry. First, I'm stepping behind Pierre, so I have a big ass robot leg between me and Lightning Bolt Madouche, and I am hunger of Hadaring his ass. So the ground beneath him rips wide open, flailing, burning, purplish black tentacles begin flailing out, whipping about. The area turns pitch black. And it goes completely silent except for the sounds of loud slurping and soft whispers.
Kinky?
Yeah, I was gonna say, loud slurping and soft whispers does not sound. That does not sound right.
It's a 20-foot radius sphere of blackness and bitter cold, and he's in the center of it.
Which means those poor assholes next to him.
Yep.
Any creature that starts their turn takes 2d6, and any creature that ends its turn must succeed on a death save or take 2d6 acid as milky otherworld tentacles rub them.
This is Arms of Hadar or Hunger of Hadar?
Hunger of Hadar. Arms of Hadar is too close range for me to use. And it's a concentration spell, so I'm doing this for now.
Okay.
So this is my one concentration spell I can use.
Okay.
I don't know if he should take the damage now or if he's just in an inky black void with no sound besides slurping.
I believe they take the base damage because they're in the spell.
When they end their turn.
Any creature that starts its turn takes 2d6 cold, and any ends
when they start or end their turn. Okay. Next up
and he's blinded as well.
Yeah. Next up is Nysra.
Okay. How far away is all of this action?
I would say you're about 50 feet from the entrance to the tunnel.
Okay. I'll go ahead and move over to where where's a good spot where I can see down the but not be super close?
Probably over where the Centurion's legs are.
Okay. I will find a spot where I have a decent amount of.
Alright, I need to take off the points for casting that.
All that's down in that tunnel is ink black, yeah?
That you can see, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that spot is just pain and suffering for Pain and suffering.
Pain and suffering.
This is a level 3. Level 3s take 5 points. So
I'm trying to decide if I would take off the disguise or if I want to pretend as if I'm trying to attack the lizard.
I mean,
don't attack the lizard. The lizard's a
Don't
good
attack the
lizard.
lizard.
I want to line up where if I were to fire off, it could look as if I missed you and hit him.
no, that's needlessly complicated.
That's fair. No, I'll keep the disguise up right now. I can't see them. For me, I want to make sure that I'm
You're cutting in and out.
though.
Cutting in and out.
She wants to be 100 feet away from key blackness.
Okay.
Because that's where that asshole is, and I just saw that he lightning.
Hmm.
I want my safety.
Okay.
And cover.
This is why I'm glad Zodd has high hit points for a caster.
Mm-hmm. Okay. That's all she's doing. She just wants to get down there where she can be closer if need be. Actually, you said it was 60 feet to the opening to the tunnel?
Hmm.
Could I be on one of the sides of the opening, out of view from the tunnel itself, but like waiting basically along the wall?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll go there, because then he can't see me.
And with your passive perception of 21, the area where you go, you find that there's a little switch on the wall over where you're standing.
Ooh.
Press the button's gonna
I pressed the button.
You guys hear just this like repeated whooshing sound, as if like this. You see blades come out of either side of that tunnel and start moving back and forth, and you guys now no longer only hear the slurping and whispering. You guys,
Horrible screams of death.
you guys hear horrible screams of death, and Zodd, do you release your concentration, or are you keeping it
Oh
going?
hell no! I actually I'll hold it.
The blinds
hold it.
are being murdered by the blades.
Yeah, I want them to suffer in complete and utter terror and agony as they're being touched and groped and slapped by searing tentacles, bitter cold, and have to listen to.
The last thing they heard. Slurpity slurp.
Eventually, the screams subside.
Okay.
Now you can use for concentration.
Now, Zodd, we're let it down.
The cultist lackeys are now in pieces on the ground, and Faram's still kind of standing there with his eyes kind of glazed over. And eventually his staff drops to the ground, his hand still holding the staff. Another arm falls off, and eventually he just collapses into pieces. A la Resident Evil style.
I pressed the button again, so the blades stop.
Okay.
Zodd just gives not Nysra. Nysra a big thumbs up, then just strides over to the corpses and kind of prods at the head thing like, use that for me. I violated you with tentacles. I think we're even.
Wow.
And then he takes the staff.
Okay. What do you do with the staff?
Nysra has her hand held out, like.
Can you hear me?
Oh yeah, no, he was bringing it over to Mr. I can't detect magic, but I can identify things. I know, it's weird.
Can Jonak has his like cipher back?
Yeah, sure. You can have your scepter back.
Yeah.
The staff that Faram had, what does it look like?
The top part of it is stylized as if it were a bolt of lightning. And the main like shaft of the staff is made of ebony, from what it looks like. very ornately carved, and it's exquisite craftsmanship, but you see other symbols kind of carved into it, all of which you recognize as being almost like pictographs from across different cultures, all pertaining to lightning and storms and the like.
Nice.
And in fact, when Zodd had picked it up, it seemed as if it had grown so as to be more proportionate to him. And then when he had handed it back to you, it shrank down to a size more proportionate to you.
Nice. She's like, I like this.
I can identify it for you.
Oh, please do. Their little toothy grin.
You see Zodd just set up a ritual to identify using the blood and chunks of corpses from the fucker that just electrocuted him.
Your
That's a
enemies
waste of a
will do.
corpse.
Like, why use material components and pay gold when you can just use a ritual and the remains of your enemies?
Because you can use the remains of your enemies as food.
Why do I feel like we turn around and Toshtar's just splattered corpses, just licking them up off the ground?
Yeah, no, like, so I take 10 minutes, you just see Zodd just kind of rolling around in the corpse and the puddles of blood and stuff. And then he stands up. He knows exactly what the staff done, even though he's soaked head to toe from blood and wearing the fucker's guts as a necklace. Never said it was a normal ritual.
So Amrit goes to where Ferrum was working on all those artifacts.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's a bloody mess corridor. You're gonna want to prestidigitate the shit out of that. There. You'll be tracking crap and entrails for days. Oh, it's all over. Nysra can help. She has it. She likes to sleep.
Okay.
So, question, Dragon, what did the staff do, real quick? Like, in detail.
Like during the ritual?
No, afterwards.
Oh, during the ritual too, considering I'm bathing it in the blood of my enemies.
So you're asking what it did. I'm trying to figure out when you're specifically referring.
Well, I'm asking for the results of identify once you
okay.
think I should have it. And I'm asking, did it soak up the blood, the life force, the essence of my enemies? I don't want their souls to have a happy place.
It did not. Most of that was just you covering yourself in gore. But the magic that you were invoking as part of the spell kind of hovers over the staff for a little bit and kind of lingers until eventually the name kind of just spouts out of your mouth. And in fact, Amory, you're passing by with Zoe in tow. And Zoe, you hear Zodd say that is a lightning rod of destruction.
Oh.
Little unhappy cat face. How dare it take my job?
In fact, on top of that, you feel as if it's calling to you.
Extra rude. I don't like it. How dare it call out to me? I do want it.
Then tell them you want it.
Doesn't the crab have it or something?
No, Zodd, the gore-covered Zodd has it right now.
I feel like Nysra would have been holding it, and she's like, when you're done, may touch it, maybe. Look at it, no touching.
Can I just, do the whole Ratatouille thing and motion Emery to go closer?
Amrit just takes you off and puts you down, because he's headed somewhere else.
Alright, I gotta go. I gotta go check it out.
Okay, so...
Just I'm gonna waddle over and be like, touch it.
So, Nysra hands you the staff, and it shrinks down to your size.
I didn't hand her the staff. She tried to cat-eye me. With a little, Puss in Boots level of my hat in my hands as I eye you.
Can I have that?
Let's face it, would that really not work on Nysra?
She's lawful evil, so probably not.
Zodd is lawful evil too, surprisingly.
Woo! Just got all my toe beans outstretched, trying to reach out. That coming off of me.
I'll let you touch my toe beans.
The weird offerings of the tiny cat.
Zodd is just cleaning himself off after this ritual, like, I hate having to do that one. Always end up with blood being in my scales.
She kind of just looks at you and she's like, "You may touch it,
Just let me touch it.
but I want it
No.
back."
Okay.
With this
Zodd's
look, looks
Zodd's
dead
just
in the eye.
going to look.
And the disguise self she has that made her look more like Breton fades for a moment, and you see these glowing red, orange, kind of embry eyes for just a second. And she hands you the
I
staff.
got it. I got it.
You're never getting that back.
What you see, Nysra,
Mm-hmm.
is you hand it to her. The staff shrinks down to her size, and both she and the staff disappear.
She's like, "Oh, son of a bitch."
I told you were never getting that back.
Zoe,
Well, bye, I guess.
Zoe.
Now I'm the rude one. I didn't say goodbye to Amory.
Emery loses all of his
Zoe, you find yourself in a place you've never been before. You're standing on a large pillar of obsidian, and all around you are storm clouds, and they're all crackling with lightning and electricity.
Oh, this is
And across from you, on the top of this huge obsidian pillar, are two other people. One
who dat?
is a very tall, armor-clad man whose arm is a sword, and the other one is closer to your height, also clad in armor, with swords in either hand.
Well, that's weird.
Mr. Bay.
And they turn towards you, and you immediately recognize Zira.
That's my friend. Hold on, that's not weird to me. Oh boy. I'm going
And-
to run over.
And Eben Arm kind of looks down at you, says, "My disciple has insisted that you, along with certain others, may be of benefit to our cause. Should you be willing to accept, we can begin your training today."
So he looks at her paws, holding the new staff, looks at Zira.
who has put away her swords and has
You cut out.
You cut out bad.
And runs at Zira.
Oh, hold on.
Hold on.
Iris,
Because Bob cut out, and we only picked up like halfway through what you were saying, Haley.
Oh no. Zira, like, while Zoe looks like she's still trying to decide, and Ebenarm is like explaining that Zira has chosen Zoe as a companion, puts away her swords and does that whole like "come kitty in arms" kind of thing. Like, come on, who wants a hug?
Yeah.
Yay, the murder cats are back together.
Zoe very much wants a hug from Zira.
Team small.
What was the ship name between you guys called again?
Zero.
Zero.
Zero, yeah, Zero. Zero is back together.
And then we have a character come in named that.
And Ebenarm looks to you, says, "Your training will be difficult, and in time, you too will be able to select a companion to join us. But for the time being, it is us two who shall train you."
Well, good thing I got 14 strength, because I think all of them are going to try to teach melee things.
Okay. That's your magic.
Oh, no.
against our
Why do you
sword.
have so
Oh,
much
no.
strength for a magic user?
She has to carry all the shit she steals.
That's why I found it so weird when y'all thought it was weird I only had 10 strength. I'm a Dex magic user. Why the hell would I have high strength?
Because you're like a
You look
400
like a
pound
brick shit
lizard.
house.
Yeah, use the tall.
I have really good con, so that's the only reason I look like a brick shit house.
Good.
So wait, you're like a very tall lizard, but just a little scrawny.
Hello, mother.
Hello, father. Emery. Sorry to bother.
Emery,
Yes.
you head up to that desk, and sure enough, all the stuff is still laid out on it. And among it all, you find a stack of papers, and included in which is an unopened letter.
Ooh.
Addressed to Josadris from Aldris.
Oh. Okay.
Well, he dead now, so you should open it.
Even though it's a federal offense, I open his mail.
Go and tattle on us.
And it's worse than you thought. It's so much worse than you thought. And that's where we're going to leave off.
No.
That leave us a cliffhanger, man.
If you, for the